Hey, so I know this is weird. It's my face instead of like written notes, but I figured you could replay this back and forth if you wanted. It was a little easier for me to explain it than try and type it. So I'll send you this one on Wyoming's homeschooling, and then I'll send you on South Carolina's homeschooling. I like a little bit of both, so it's really neat. You have the option to do both or pick one or the other. So Wyoming is really, they don't have a lot of rules on homeschooling, so you're a little bit lucky, I guess. So if you want to pick your own curriculum and do your own thing for homeschooling in Wyoming, it's pretty easy. You don't have any annual testing there. You don't have to be a part of any associations or anything. The only thing you have to do is submit to your local school district that you are going to or you want to homeschool your children. So basically, you just have to send them a letter of intent saying, hey, I want to homeschool my kids. It doesn't have to say much more than that. You don't have to tell them why or anything of that nature. You'll have to send them a summary of whatever curriculum you want to use. There are so many curriculums. So you can buy, like, say, a Becca, and they have a full curriculum that you can buy and has all the subjects in it. Or you can say, hey, I really like this math, I really like this science, I really like this history. You can put them together and create your own curriculum. You just need to send them like a brief summary of which curriculums you're going to use and for what subjects. You don't have to tell them why you're going to use it or anything like that. So you have to just teach them reading, writing, literature, math, science, civics, and history, those kind of things. You don't really have to do any sort of record keeping. They're not going to send somebody out to your house to say, hey, show me what you got. But it's always good to kind of document each day what you did with your kids. And I just use a stinking spiral bound notebook. I have these things like everywhere, and I have one for each kid. Each has a date. These are the days and times they worked. This was what they did, and super easy and simple. And like my older ones, they actually do that on their own. They write what they did, and that's our record keeping book. And I also do when is our start date at the beginning of the year, and what's our end date when they take days off. All that stuff is like documented in that one little spiral notebook. Another cool thing is if you want your kids to participate in sports, they're allowed to do that as part of the public school system. They're allowed to be in any extracurricular sports or activities or clubs that takes place after school. All the things that happen during school, you can't really do that. So it's anything that takes place after school. One website that you can look at is A2, like the number 2, Z, homeschooling.com. You can look up the United States, you can look up Wyoming. It has all the laws on everything. There really isn't a lot of laws in Wyoming. It's actually fairly easy. The fact that they don't have to be tested if you don't want them to, and all those things. Super easy. Now, if you want to homeschool through more of like a public school system program, which is kind of what we chose to do the past couple of years here in South Carolina, I highly recommend. They have 2 public school online systems. There's K-12, not a big fan. Kids have to be stuck to the computer all day, live all the time. I didn't like that. We actually use Connections Academy. Wyoming has a branch of that, so it's Wyoming Connections Academy. We use South Carolina Connections Academy. It's basically a charter school. It's free. It's a public school but online. And I love the flexibility of it. So you pull up your schedule each day. The kids see exactly what they need to do on their schedule, and they can do it in their own timing. They normally have some online live lessons, is what we call it, where they're plugging in with the teacher and with their classmates online. And those are scheduled on there, and you know when those happens. They're pretty regular. Like you'll know really their schedule unless we get into like some holiday or something like that. And it's really cool. I really love it. I love the flexibility of it. They can work ahead if they are like, wow, this math is super easy. They can work ahead and almost get done for the year. Or if something's a struggle bus, they can kind of slow down and take their time and then just have everything finished at the end of the year. Or use times like Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, all of those different breaks that we get, and kind of catch up during those times. That's Wyoming. I'm going to take some notes to write down on here, just like the bullet points of South Carolina. South Carolina is a little bit more has a little bit more details or a few more options that you can use. So Wyoming's very basic, super easy, not a whole lot. Just let your school district know that you want to homeschool, and either you can choose to do Connections Academy or K-12, or you can choose to put together your own curriculums. And if you choose the whole like putting together your own curriculums thing, I can shoot you some ideas about what curriculums are good and what are just like either too much information, or if you like a lot of information, which ones you may want to go with. I was gonna say one more thing and I forgot. That's okay, I'll catch up on the backside. So that's Wyoming stuff. I'll send you another video on South Carolina stuff.